Hello and welcome to this CloudWorx for Bricscad product demonstration. My name is Paul Burrows from Leica Geosystems, and this video will take you through the very basics of operation of CloudWorx for Bricscad. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is fire up Bricscad. We're going to use Bricscad BIM. You can see here this is running the Bricscad Ultimate license. And then we're going to go to our CloudWorx tab, which is installed as a plugin into Bricscad, and open up an LGS file. Now this will show you how quickly we can open up an LGS file. You can also pick a coordinate system if you have one defined within the project. And then we can open our point cloud, and if needs be, we can change our point cloud color to make it a little bit easier to see. Now we're going to use the slicing tools to create a quick vertical slice in the data, and we're also going to specify a new origin in a second. So firstly we're going to change the thickness to give us a more appropriate thickness, and you'll see why this is relevant later in the demonstration. And you can also rename that as well if you want to, just to make it a little bit easier to manage the process. So you can see now we've got our vertical slice. We can reset that clip, and now what we would like to do is actually specify a horizontal slice, and this is so that we can start digitizing our floor plan, ready to extrude that up and turn that into a 3D BIM model. So what you can see here is the ability to then move forwards and backwards in the slice to find the exact location where you would like to start digitizing. And this just helps you to make sure that you're not picking irrelevant lines in effect. So using that tool, we can then work backwards and forwards to get the exact position. We can also then change that thickness and rename it as we did with the vertical slice previously. And that will be our working slice. And then we can choose which tool we want to use. In this instance, we're going to configure our auto fit for our polyline tool. And this allows you just to make sure that you've got all the settings set up correctly, and also to give you the best final result. And I've sped this part of the video up, but what you can see now is the ability to click through that data set very, very efficiently, and it will do a best fit of your polylines and allow you to digitize that entire floor plan. So obviously this would have taken a few minutes in the real world, but once we've finished, the next stage is to just tidy up some of those lines and just get them all connected. So we just finish them off and extend them out, so our floor plan is ready to start working with. And obviously if you've got repetitive areas, then you can do a bit of copy pasting. But what we're going to do here now, obviously you can turn the point cloud off. We're going to actually go through the process of creating a floor plate, and then we're going to go through the process of extruding up all of that line work. And this is where you'll see the vertical slice that we created becomes very, very useful, because we can use that as a guide to actually extrude up the wall areas to meet the right lines. So here we're just creating the floor plate using the tools within Bricscad, and we can change the way that is represented. So you can see that's just a conceptual block model now. And then what we can do is go back to the layering tools and make sure that we turn back on our floor plan that we've just created, and just make that a little bit more visible on that conceptual base. And then we can select that and we can start the extrusion process. So we're just going to change the color. There you go. You can now see the line work has appeared on top of the floor level. And what we're going to do is, as I said before, is make sure we select all of that information and extrude it up to the relevant height using the details from the point cloud. So if we just go to our clipping manager and we just turn on our vertical slice, so you can now see when we go back into the view, the 3D view, you can actually now use that as your guide to bring all the wall levels up to the right height. So this is where we kind of start to break away from the tools within CloudWorx and look more specifically at some of the stuff you can do in Bricscad BIM, but obviously utilizing the point cloud as the basis for that. So you can see here we're just using that tool to bring the walls to the correct height in line with the point cloud, so just using that slice that we've created. And obviously we've got that big area of the sports hall at the back that we can also potentially use as well. What we've done there is actually use the prior model as the height, and then we're just setting the height for that sports hall area as well, again, and just using the point cloud to specify the right location. And you can see then the model is beginning to take shape, and this has all been done on the basis of our reality capture data. And obviously if we turn all the point cloud off, then you can see the model data alongside the point cloud. It's looking rather nice. So I'm going to speed up this next part of the recording because again this is more relevant to the Bricscad BIM part of the solution. But what we can do here now is actually use some really nice tools within Bricscad BIM. In particular, you can see at the minute these are all individual elements, they're just individual 3D objects, but we obviously want to turn that into a BIM model. So we use the bimify tool, and that will actually now break that down automatically into rooms. So you can see here we've got the rooms that were all have been created, and we've got the annotations that have been created for them as well. But then, once we have got all those various components that we're starting to build, there's still some individual components within the model, but we would obviously want to apply materials to them. So you can see here we can apply the materials, and you can see there's a slight error there. We can fix that. And we can do that for every corner within the building nice and quickly. But also we can now add doors and we can add windows directly to those surfaces and just drag and drop them directly into the 3D model. And if we had the point cloud turned on at this point in time, then we could use that as the basis for positioning those objects. So you can see what we've done there is create our 3D model, very quickly use the bimify function, and you're left with a nice final result. So thank you for listening to that CloudWorx for Bricscad product demonstration. Hopefully you can see that we've gone through the whole process there of importing the point cloud, creating some slices, aligning the data, doing some simple 2D extraction, and then moving into 3D modeling, and then using the bimify function within CloudWorx for Bricscad. So thank you very much. Look forward to catching up with you soon, and take care.